Hello and welcome to Kuma English Listening Hub. Today we will talk about a fun and surprising topic, why board game design is a real job, and what happens behind the ideas you see on the table. Maybe you know games like Monopoly, Uno, or simple card games with your family, but have you ever thought, who makes these games? Who decides the rules, the pictures, and even the small pieces in the box? In this episode, we will look at the daily life of a board game designer. We will learn how a game idea starts, how it becomes a real product, and why so many people enjoy playing these games around the world. Sit back, relax, and listen. This is a great English listening practice for B1 level learners. First, what is a board game designer? A board game designer is a person who creates new games. They think of the main idea, write the rules, and test if the game is fun. Some designers work full-time. This means it is their main job. Others design games as a side job or a hobby. But even hobby designers can publish games and earn money. Board game designers can be very different people. Some are artists, some are teachers, some are engineers, some are just people who really love games and want to share their ideas. Their goal is simple, but not easy. Make a game that is interesting, clear, and enjoyable again and again. Let's start with the first step, getting an idea. Where does a game idea come from? Many ideas come from everyday life. A designer might think, I stand in line at the supermarket a lot. Can I make a funny game about people in a line? Or, I like cooking. Maybe I can make a game about running a small restaurant. Other ideas come from history, travel, or stories from books and movies. A designer might read about old ships and think of a game where you bring goods across the ocean. Another designer might love detective stories and build a game about solving a mystery. Some designers start with the story first. They imagine a world, like a market, a castle, or a space station. Other designers start with the mechanism. A mechanism is the basic way the game works. For example, you roll dice and move. You play cards and collect points. You place little wooden pieces on the board. Designers often write their first ideas in a notebook or on their phones. They know that one small idea can grow into a full game later. After the idea comes something called prototyping. A prototype is the first, very simple version of a game. It is not beautiful. It usually does not have nice art or pretty cards. A designer might use pieces of paper for cards, bottle caps or coins for game pieces, a hand-drawn board on printer paper. The goal of a prototype is not to look good. It is to see if the basic idea works. For example, imagine you design a game about delivering pizza in a city. You cut a piece of paper and draw streets. You use buttons to show pizza delivery bikes. You write simple rules like, you can move 2 streets each turn. You get 1 point for every pizza you deliver. Now you are ready for the most important part of design, playtesting. Playtesting means playing the game again and again to see if it is fun and fair. First, many designers play alone. They play all players by themselves. This feels a bit strange, but it helps them catch big problems quickly. Maybe they see that one player wins too easily, or that the game takes 3 hours instead of 30 minutes. They change the rules and play again. Next, they ask friends or family to play. They say, please be honest. Tell me what you do not like. During a playtest, a good designer watches very carefully. Do players look bored? Do they laugh and talk? Do they understand the rules? Or are they confused? Sometimes players do things the designer did not plan. They find new ways to win, or they break the rules without knowing. This is not bad. It helps the designer see where the rules are not clear. After each playtest, the designer usually changes something. They add or remove cards. They make the game shorter or longer. They change how players get points. This process can take months or even years for one game. Now, let's talk about balance. Balance in a board game means that the game is fair. No player should have a very big advantage just because of one card, one character, or one starting position. For example, in a game about running farms, if one farm type always wins, then the game is not balanced. Players will not want to choose other farm types. Designers use many tricks to balance a game. They change numbers, like how many coins you get. They make strong cards more rare. They give weaker players small bonuses to help them catch up. Balancing a game is like cooking soup. You taste it, then add a little salt. You taste again, and add a little more pepper. If you add too much of something, the soup is not good anymore. The same is true for games. One small change can make the game much better, or suddenly not fun at all. After many tests and changes, the designer has a prototype that works well. What happens next? There are usually two main paths. Path 1. The designer finds a publisher. A publisher is a company that prints and sells games. They help with art, production, marketing, and sending the game to shops. To find a publisher, the designer often goes to game conventions. These are big events where people play and show games. The designer may sit at a small table and teach their game to many different players. If a publisher likes the game, they might say, "We want to sign this game." Then, the company and the designer make a contract. Path 2. The designer publishes the game themselves. This is called self-publishing. The designer becomes a small business owner. They must think about money, printing costs, shipping, and even customer questions. Many small designers use crowdfunding websites. On these sites, people can pre-order the game before it is printed. If enough people pay, the designer can print the game. Self-publishing gives more control, but also more work and more risk. Now, let's talk about art and components. Remember the first prototype? It did not look nice. Now, it is time to make the game beautiful. Most designers are not professional artists. So, the publisher usually hires an illustrator and a graphic designer. The illustrator draws the pictures, like characters, buildings, or landscapes. The graphic designer chooses the fonts, colors, and layout. They decide where to put numbers on the cards and how to make the board easy to read. Good art is not only pretty, it also helps players understand the game. For example, red can mean danger or losing points. Green can mean good things or extra points. Icons, small symbols, can show actions without many words. This helps people from different countries play the same game. The game also needs physical components: cards, dice, wooden pieces, plastic pieces, and the box. Each part has a cost. If the game has too many pieces, it becomes very expensive to make. So designers and publishers must choose carefully. Sometimes they ask, do we really need 200 cards, or can we make the game good with 120 cards? You may be wondering, how do game designers earn money? Designers usually get something called royalties. A royalty is a small part of the money from each game that is sold. For example, if a game sells for $30 in a shop, maybe the designer gets $1 or $2 from that sale. This does not sound like much. But if the game becomes popular and sells thousands of copies, it can be good income. Some designers also get paid to design games for companies, schools, or museums. A museum might ask for a game to teach children about dinosaurs. A company might want a game for a team-building workshop. In these cases, the designer may get a fixed payment for their work. However, it is important to know that most designers do not become rich. Many have another job and design games in their free time. Now, why are board games so popular in many countries today? One reason is that people want to spend time together away from screens. We use phones and computers all day. A board game is a simple way to sit at a table and talk face to face. Another reason is variety. There are games for many moods and groups. Quick games for 10 minutes. Deep strategy games for 2 hours. Cooperative games where you work together. Party games that make you laugh. Designers think about the type of fun they want to create. Do they want players to feel like smart planners? Do they want people to laugh and act silly? Do they want players to feel tension, like in a race? Good designers focus on emotions, not only on rules. Board games can also be great for language learning. For English learners like you, games can help you. Practice numbers, colors, and simple actions. Use polite language, such as, "Could you pass me the card?" Learn new words from the game theme, like food words, travel words, or job words. Talk with other people and explain your choices. Some teachers use board games in class. They know games make students talk more and feel less afraid to make mistakes. Designers sometimes create games, especially for classrooms. These games use simple language and focus on cooperation. So, what does a normal day look like for a board game designer? Of course, every designer is different, but many days include tasks like these: writing and changing rules, making new cards or pieces for a prototype, sending emails to publishers or artists, preparing for a playtest night, playing other people's games to learn new ideas. Many designers also do a lot of problem solving. They ask themselves, why is this part boring? How can I make this turn faster? How can I explain this rule in one simple sentence? Sometimes a designer spends the whole day on one small rule. They test it, change it, and test it again. It can be slow and sometimes a bit stressful, but when people enjoy the final game, it feels very rewarding. Maybe you are thinking now, could I design a game too? The answer is yes. You do not need special tools to start. Here are some simple steps you can try. Step 1. Choose a simple theme you like. Maybe it is about your city bus system, a school day, your favorite sport, or your grandparents' garden. Step 2. Decide what players do. Do they collect things? Do they race? Do they guess? Do they build something together? Step 3. Make a very quick prototype. Use paper and a pen. Draw a small board or write numbers on cards. Do not worry about art. Just make it possible to play. Step 4. Play with a friend. Tell them the goal of the game. Watch what happens. Listen to their ideas. Step 5. Change one thing. Make the game shorter or longer. Give more or fewer points. Try again. This simple process is exactly what many professional designers do. They just repeat it many more times. Also, this is wonderful language practice. When you design a game in English, you write rules, speak with testers, and use a lot of useful vocabulary. Before we finish, let's review some key words from this episode. Designer, a person who creates something, like a game. Prototype, the first simple version of a product. Playtest, to play a game many times to find problems and see if it is fun. Balance, making a game fair so no player has an easy win all the time. Publisher, a company that prints and sells games. Royalties, money paid to a creator for each copy of a product that is sold. Components, the physical parts of a game, such as cards, dice, and pieces. If you want extra practice, you can pause and repeat these words out loud. Board game design may sound like just fun and play, but as you heard, it is also real work. It needs creativity, patience, organization, and communication. Behind every box on the table, there is a long story of ideas, tests, and small changes. Maybe next time you play a game with your friends or family, you will think about the person who made it. You might ask yourself, why did the designer choose these rules? How did they balance this game? And maybe, just maybe, you will start to design your own game too. Thank you for listening to Kuma English Listening Hub. If you enjoyed this episode, listen again to catch more details or shadow the audio. That means you listen and speak at the same time to practice your pronunciation. See you next time, and happy gaming and happy English learning.